And welcome, everybody. Welcome to this conversation practice together with teacher Fred and teacher Juan Yanes. And today we're going to talk about the debt ceiling. It's a very, very interesting topic in the middle of this situation that we are now in the United States, inflation and everything. So it's a very good opportunity to listen to teacher Alfredo about the debt ceiling. Teacher, welcome. What is a debt ceiling?
A very good morning to you, teacher.
Yeah, good
And
morning.
so nice to see you again.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, a debt ceiling is the amount of money that the federal government is allowed to spend to pay their existing obligations.
Oh, very interesting. And who does the government ask for this debt ceiling?
The government usually will ask Congress to approve a budget.
To the Congress.
Congress. And
Ooh,
to give you an example, our current debt ceiling is more than $31 trillion.
Yeah, I was going to ask you this. How much is the debt ceiling at this moment?
Sure. So more than $31 trillion. So this is an incredible sum of money. Not million, not billion, but trillion.
Wow. Teacher, and I have a question.
Sure.
What is this debt ceiling used for? What is they use it for what?
Excellent question. So some of the obligations that the federal government is responsible for is to pay the military. So the salaries, the salaries of our military personnel, the soldiers, to pay government employees. So any government office.
Yeah, like we say the public employees, right?
Right, public employees, certainly.
So that means teachers, doctors, nurses, and many.
On the federal level, yes.
Wow, is this money used for? How often is this money used for? I mean, is it yearly, monthly, or?
It's yes, it's annually or yearly, teacher. Yes.
Yearly. Wow, that's
annually or yearly. And one other very, very important area that is also covered here is your Social Security or your pension.
All the pensions, Social Security.
So a lot of older Americans would get very, very nervous here if they were to start to hear that there's some problems with the debt ceiling and the government might not be able to pay their monthly Social Security.
Wow. Teacher, I have a question. Does it have something to do with the political party? I mean, there is a difference between the Democrats and Republicans governments. Can you tell us a bit about it?
You are exactly right, teacher. So fundamentally, the two major political parties in America are the Democrats and the Republicans.
Yeah.
The Democrats historically are more liberal and they're more likely to spend money.
Oh, so, they are, for example, kind of overspending.
Overspending. So our current president now, Joe Biden, he is a Democrat. So Democrats favor social programs to help the poor, to help people who may need more assistance.
Wow.
So that's why they ask for so much money. Now, on the other hand, Republicans are more conservative.
Conservative, yeah.
So our former president, President Trump, he, of course, was a Republican, and he was a little bit tighter with the budget.
The budget.
So he doesn't easily like the idea of big government overspending.
Overspending. Wow.
So this is a fundamental difference between the two major political parties.
Yeah. And maybe that's why we have this kind of inflation at this moment, right?
One of the reasons, yes. But also some other reasons are it also could be triggered by worldwide events. So, for example,
like
the war
in Ukraine.
in the Ukraine, the problems we've been having with COVID, these
COVID.
2 to 3 years or more. So there's some other factors as well. But one thing I also would like to emphasize is that throughout American history, America has never had a government shutdown.
Oh, a government shutdown. Can you explain a little bit what is, what a government shutdown is, teacher?
Certainly. A government shutdown is basically when the government will close, when everything will stop functioning.
Collapse.
So basically, yes, we'll have a collapse. Government offices would close because we would not be able to pay employees their salaries. I don't know what would happen with the branches of the military.
Has it ever happened before, teacher?
Never.
Never.
It has never happened, and probably the the lawmakers will probably do everything in their power not to allow it to happen.
Wow, okay, very good.
So in this situation, they're going to approve an emergency type of law to increase the debt ceiling.
Okay, so I understand.
So that now the government can continue to function.
But anyways, the government borrows money.
Yes.
To the treasury, right? Treasury.
That's right. That's right. So the government is borrowing money from the U.S. Treasury. And this amount, again, is determined by the U.S. Congress.
How does it affect to the people, to the American people, to the immigrants, to people that we are living here in the U.S.?
It can affect us in terms of government services. So again, if you have a Republican in office, you might notice that maybe there are more government services that might not be available. They might close certain offices. But with a Democrat, it's a little more of the opposite, where they'll be trying to do more to help the average person.
The average people. Teacher, what do you recommend to us to avoid these kinds of problems?
Great question, teacher. So more simply, I believe that Americans have to control their spending. Okay. We as Americans, we have a habit or a tendency of overspending.
Overspending. Yeah.
And
we are overspenders. I am sometimes.
Yes, I am too. And there's an expression and sometimes they say it's not good to live beyond your means. To
live beyond your means. Wow, that's
you should not. You should not live beyond your means, which translated really means you should not live beyond your lifestyle. Your
lifestyle. Yeah, in Spanish, there is an expression in Spanish the same. The translation to Spanish is arroparse hasta donde alcance la cobija. That's but in English is totally different. Wow, very nice, teacher. So yeah, because we spend so much money sometimes.
Which actually it's not always bad, teacher, because when we spend money, we're also stimulating the economy. So it's not always bad, because when we spend, we're allowing business to also become successful.
Yeah, to survive.
To survive, sure. So it's not always bad, but if we overspend and overspend, now we have problems with debt.
Yeah, we don't save. If we overspend, we don't save money.
We don't save, which is a big problem. And if you lose your job and you have very little savings, this is a major problem now.
Yeah, that's true.
Completely true. Many of the tech companies, for example, are announcing major layoffs now. Google and many. So many people are losing their jobs now.
Yes, they
And
are.
and these are often high-paying jobs.
Yeah, that's true. And this is what I say to my students, that when we are in this kind of when we are in the middle of this crisis, you have to invest in knowledge.
I couldn't agree more with you. So invest in knowledge and basically invest in yourself.
In yourself. Yeah,
Because
some people stay home and they say, no, I'm not going to do any course. I'm not going to pay any tuition. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to save money. And that's not good. You have to think about where are you going to invest.
that's a great word that you mentioned, teacher. So many financial experts say, in order to really be successful, you must also invest.
Yeah.
So saving money alone is basically not going to be enough, because the banks are not paying us much interest if you put your money in a bank. So we must also invest. So if, depending on what you'd like to do, if you want to purchase a property or um, invest with some stocks and bonds. But I think it's a good idea to try to invest some of your money.
Yeah, that's true, teacher. Very nice, teacher. Thank you so much. So in summary, a debt ceiling is when the government borrows money from the treasury.
Exactly right. And this amount has already
Approved
been
by the Congress.
by the Congress.
Okay.
And whenever we start the problem now is that we're nearing the limit or the ceiling.
Okay.
And now some emergency action looks like it will be needed. So the Congress will have to authorize, pass a special law to increase the debt ceiling, teacher, so our government can continue to operate.
Very nice. Very interesting. Very interesting, teacher. Thank you so much. And
always a pleasure, teacher.
Now I understand much better what a debt ceiling is. Thank you very much, teacher. And I hope you
Thank
guys
you, teacher.
understood. Yeah, like I did. Thank you, teacher.
Thank you.